Hello everyone, dear Turkish Spotlight Secrets family. The studio lights feel warmer than ever tonight, and it's not just our set, there's a crackle in the air that mirrors the spark flying between the couple at the center of our story. Settle in, because we're diving deep into the truth behind the noise, sweeping past the flashy headlines to the heartbeat of a romance that's part firestorm, part fairy tale. Before we plunge into this dance of power and passion, show your love to the channel by subscribing, tapping that bell so you catch every revelation, and giving this video a big thumbs up. And for those who crave extra insider breakdowns and want to keep our independent storytelling strong, the join button is shining just for you. Tonight we ask, how exactly is Cemre Arda driving Gökberk Yildirim deliciously mad, and loving every second of it? From the cafes of Nişantaşı to the whispers backstage at glossy premieres, Istanbul's rumor mill has been humming with a single, teasing question: how did Cemre manage to push Gökberk right to the edge of his sanity? At first, it sounds like scandal, crisis, a looming storm. But when you peel back the layers of their life, it turns out there's no betrayal, no shouting down the hallway, no ultimatum penned at midnight. What there is brighter and more addictive. Cemre's explosive momentum, a wave of conquest and charisma, and her digital brilliance that leaves everyone, including the man standing at her side, a little breathless. From the first moment they began orbiting each other, critics and fans swore their on-screen magic bled into real life like ink into water. Even with punishing shooting schedules, even with flights that blur time zones and scripts that demand every last drop of energy, they forged a rhythm balanced on respect. But lately, the tempo has picked up into a pulse you can hear across the Bosphorus. New projects are blooming like spring wildflowers in fast forward. The brand meetings never seem to end. Photoshoots link together like a chain with no clasp. Cemre has become unstoppable, less a person, more a comet streaking across every marquee. On social media, she's a phenomenon that algorithms chase like paparazzi. A single photo. She smiles over her shoulder, she laughs in a hallway, she leans into a beam of afternoon sun, and within minutes the post detonates into a storm of hearts, shares, and breathless comments. Her outfits, always a step ahead, always confident, ride the front line of style while her captions arrive like winks. And there, somewhere between the thrum of admiration and the rush of attention, lives Gökberk's secret cocktail of feelings. Friends murmur that he radiates pride that could warm a city block. At the same time, a sweet, harmless pinch of jealousy nudges him like a mischievous breeze. You've seen that look, haven't you? The one photographers catch when he thinks no one's watching. That soft, astonished smile he wears from a distance while all eyes aim at Cemre. The whispers say he's confided to trusted friends with a frankness that's disarming. Of course she draws the spotlight, she is the spotlight. But anyone in his shoes would feel their heartbeat skitter when the flashes converge on her like moths on flame. When she steps onto a red carpet, the room doesn't just see her, it tilts toward her. Confidence clings to her like perfume. Grace turns into geometry. And there he is, its quiet witness, basking and blinking and swallowing the nervous laugh only he hears. But let's decode that juicy phrase that has been ricocheting around town: she's driving him crazy. Is there a crisis breaching the horizon? No. The so-called madness is something far more wicked and endearing. It's a game, a sprint, a flirty dare. Cemre is made of surprise. One morning it's a last-second shoot that sends wardrobe into a scramble. By evening, it's an out-of-town launch that demands an overnight bag and a driver waiting downstairs in 5. She thrives on spontaneity, on the thrill of changing direction mid-step. It knocks Gökberk off balance, but here's the twist. He kind of loves it. Maybe more than he'd ever admit with a microphone nearby. Tell me, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, could you keep up with a love like that? Would the whirlwind electrify you or were you thin? We want your confessions in the comments, because there's a secret pleasure in admitting you might enjoy the chaos. And if dissecting celebrity psychology is your guilty delight, you know where to go. Join our inner circle via the join button and help Turkish Spotlight Secrets grow brighter than a premiere night marquee. Insiders close to the pair insist there's far more mutual inspiration than rivalry in their dynamic. As Cemre's calendar swells, as her responsibilities multiply and her presence intensifies, something subtle happens with Gökberk. He sharpens. Focus narrows. The hours he spends on scripts and rehearsals lengthen not out of insecurity but from a quiet determination to match the incredible woman beside him. Far from overshadowing him, her momentum acts like oxygen to his flame. She hits the gas, he adjusts the steering, together they slice through the noise. So when you read that she's sending him up the wall, don't picture slammed doors. Imagine instead the soft thud of laughter in the back of a car at midnight, the quick text that shifts plans, the inside jokes that loop them together. Picture energy, not anger, speed, not spite. Her trust in her own path is ironclad, and that certainty spreads through the room like sunlight. And him? He alternates between the tender jealousy of someone who knows his partner is coveted by an entire city, and the starry-eyed admiration of a fan who never thought he'd be holding the hand of the dream he once watched from afar. At glitzy parties and glitter-dusted galas, her trajectory is visible even before she arrives. The crowd hums, and somewhere near the back, he watches her glide in, poised as a dancer balancing on silence. She speaks, laughs, poses, pivots. She is composed and sparkling, present and unattainable all at once. It's in these scenes that he feels, as a confidant once put it, like the guardian of a rare jewel. But this isn't a fragile crystal sealed behind glass. This is a gem that wants to be seen, to refract every light pointed its way, and he respects that. The playful friction between their public and private selves keeps them alert, keeps them curious. It keeps them in love. None of this is to say it's easy. The pace can be a test, a marathon without a finish line. Cemre's days stitch together business meetings, relentless filming, brand negotiations, and appearances that erupt into trending topics before the car doors close. When she posts a clip of herself dancing to a beat that's been haunting radio stations, or laughing mid-bite at a late-night set snack, the internet answers in a tidal wave. Gökberk stands proud while a tiny voice in the back of his mind asks, just once in a while, what about me today? That question doesn't poison their bond, it proves he cares. It's the soft ache that arrives when something precious matters enough to scare you. Sometimes her last-minute plans tug him out of his calm, and sometimes his need for quiet draws her back from the brink of overdrive. They wobble, then recalibrate. They lose the thread, then find it again. It's a choreography as intricate as a tango and twice as gorgeous when you catch it from the right angle. If the tabloids shout that she drove him mad, here it is code for the heat they kindle by challenging each other not to settle into a dull rhythm. Because the enemy isn't jealousy. The enemy is monotony, and monotony never gets a seat at their table. What's awe-inspiring is how gracefully they handle the pressure of permanent visibility. You've seen couples crumble under the weight of it, seen whispers mutate into weapons. Not here. When the spotlight leans in too close, Gökberk cracks a joke that makes Cemre fold into a grin, and when the schedule frays to threads, her hand finds his, a tether pulling them both back to center. She trusts him to adapt, he trusts her to fly. That exchange, give and take, advance and retreat, has become their compass. This isn't a relationship made of grand ultimatums. It's a living thing that breathes energy and novelty. Their feed might be polished, but the laughter between takes is raw. Their public steps might be choreographed, but the private glances are unscripted, a language of their own. If you ask me, the chaos is the point. What better kind of madness than the kind that keeps you alive? The tabloids call it crazy. I call it the pulse of two people who refuse to let their story turn into background noise. So, Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, do you know that sweet kind of madness, the one that keeps you leaning forward, heart first? Tell us in the comments if there's someone in your life who knocks the wind out of you in the gentlest way. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, and share this video with every last Gökberk fan in your circle. And for our closest insiders, that join button is waiting to welcome you into the core of this community. When tomorrow's headlines chase this couple again, remember, There are no Shakespearean betrayals hiding behind those incandescent looks. What you're seeing is exhilaration without cruelty, intensity without venom, ambition without abandonment. Cemre's vivacity doesn't erase him, it amplifies him. Gökberk's calm doesn't cage her, it steadies her. Together, they're a riddle that makes the answer obvious, they are each other's favorite complication. And we'll be right here, watching with bated breath as they write the next chapter, fast, funny, fearless, just the way they like it.